and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. Welcome, the Lifeboat. Hello, Ben Bacon Bits. Hey, Cosmic Christie. And hello, Terry. Let's mute you. Very good. And let's see. Let's mute you. Yay. Okay. Hey, Plant Freak. Good to see you. Lifeboat. Hey, Tara. Let's see. We have Becca Jean getting her hair done. Matrix Rabbit, hi. Good to see y'all. I'm hoping we'll have some people in today. I wanted to talk about, hey, Misha. Hey, Matrix Rabbit. I wanted to talk about mental health and how it may have contributed to any addictive or destructive behaviors and how you've managed it going forward. Because if you're here, chances are pretty good you've been working on something, you know. Carol, Todd, Stasia, Ben, Tara, hello, Misha. So yeah, I'm hoping that we'll get to have that discussion today. Also, I spoke with Henny yesterday and forgot to tell you guys that she is just taking a little bit of break for her own well-being. And she's doing well. She loves and supports each and every one of you, and wanted to pass that on. Hey, Cosmic.
I forgot it was on. I was just trying to sort out this weird jacket thingy that I brought up in Cairns. I don't get it. I don't get the whole extra bit here. Like, what's this for? Feels like
hey, Rolling Stone.
Love to Henny. I sent Henny a message to you last night, but I did see your comment after, so that was good because once I realized I hadn't seen her for a while, I'm like, oh shit, I haven't seen her for a while. Should have done that. I only got up like 10 minutes ago, but I haven't actually been asleep.
Really? Oh,
it
girl.
happens every now and then. Yeah, I get too much in my thoughts. So it happens. I'll be able to sleep today. So
okay. Wow. Yeah, I run into that every once in a while too. It's miserable.
Oh well, I thought it was pretty funny because I was just watching videos, funny goat videos, funny cat videos. I found a whole bunch of new YouTube channels that I subscribed to. That was about, one was like a pet. It must be a science experiment or something. I only watched a couple of videos, but it was like a pet. What are those things with 8 legs? Octopus. Pet octopus. And it was like coming up to it. It was putting his hand in the tank, and then the octopus would come over and love up all on his hand and change colors, like happy colors. And
they are really very intelligent.
Yeah, that's why I can't eat them. It's the one animal I'm like, I can't eat them because it's probably smarter than I am. I can't even open jars sometimes. So.
Yeah, I would have trouble with that, definitely. So I kind of wanted to talk about mental health today, since it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and what role you suspect it might play in any abuse of drugs, alcohol, or addictive behaviors, and what you did going forward to acknowledge it, and deal with it.
Well, I know for me personally, it had a big thing to do with my addiction, which I would say was about 3 years of, well, not even that. I'd say maybe like the last 2 years of it was heavy addiction, like drinking every day from the morning till nighttime. Anytime I was awake, I'd be drinking. It's because I couldn't deal with what I was going through because of my mental health. Like, I was so bad with my mental health that it was the only way I could deal with it, even though it wasn't something that I wanted in particular anyway. So because I'd grown up, I've grown up in a pub underneath a pool table. So I was never big on drinking. Yeah. So yeah, get the cracker out, Ben. So, but yeah, and I just feel like it does. Many people with addictions tend to have mental health issues or traumas and all that sort of stuff. And I think trauma, it's my least favorite word, is
Right.
a mental health thing in itself, because that causes PTSD, CPTSD, a whole range of different things it can trigger.
Yeah.
So
And it doesn't just go anywhere. It's there.
yeah, it's like once that switches on, it's there. You know what it feels like now, so you know you can probably get back to that point.
Yeah.
I had actually the person I'd like to talk about at one point is he used to say to me all the time that he's never felt depression. Never felt
Who's listening?
the person that I
Oh,
yeah.
oh yeah, you
He
were
said
going
that
to
he
talk
never
about
felt
it.
depression.
He
Oh,
never
no.
had it? You think that's
Apparently,
true?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think he was fooling himself. Like he said, he was also, like, while we were together, he learnt that he had anxiety because of me, because he saw me being anxious and he saw some of the stuff. I kind of think maybe he was mirroring a lot.
Yeah, maybe
Um,
so.
yeah, so that's different. Mirroring is an intentional thing that you're doing intentionally. When I was saying, I was talking about echolalia, that's an unintentional repetition of other people's movements or speech patterns and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. It's not
Yeah.
intentional. So for people with neurodivergencies generally,
Okay.
but when someone who is a narcissist type personality with traits, I will not diagnose anyone. They tend to I can't remember where I was going. I just started thinking about him. I just lost every thought.
Oh man. Well, you were talking about how he said he never had depression, and
Yeah,
then had
I
anxiety
think
mirrored.
I think for people who are narcissists, they mirror because they want to find out all the stuff about you, and then mirror your behaviors so that you feel connected to them in some way. Because you're like, oh, they feel it too. They must know what I'm going through. So there's some connection a false connection that
Yeah.
they form with you. Where the person who it's been inflicted on, doesn't know that it's false because it's a game for them,
Right.
for the other person. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that Dr. Ramani,
Yeah.
amazing. I found her near the end of the whole situation, the videos, and I'd watch them loud, and just listen and listen and listen and listen, and over again. I'm just thinking, because he was calling me one,
Oh,
and I'm thinking,
interesting.
well, to find out if I was one, I went and had a look at all the videos, and I'm just there going, "That's you."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he picked it at the end because I stopped being a easy source. I was a hard source.
Okay. Well, you had said that you had you could talk about your situation now. I'd love to have
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll explain why. I have spoken to a lawyer through legal aid, and they said that I can talk about my situation as long as I don't make any false claims. I don't exaggerate.
Okay.
And I also don't. You can't disparage or defame someone if you're telling the truth. It's only if you're making up stuff. He can take me to court if he wants to, if he ever comes across this, and then that he'll have the onus of proving that I'm wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I have all the evidence.
So,
Yeah.
what were you wanting to tell us about it?
Well, it's a pretty heavy topic. Lots of trigger warnings.
Yeah.
SA, trafficking,
Oh, wow.
domestic violence. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it. I'm not using names. Yeah, and no defining features or anything like that, so that anyone who doesn't know him, even my friends, wouldn't even know, except for the fact they know they were there.
Yeah.
So, is the trafficking, because trafficking isn't someone stealing you off the street and getting you to do whatever they want, whether at work or the more nefarious one, which I won't mention because I know this is pretty early and I don't want to cause any YouTube issues for you. But it's not someone picking you up off the street. It's, in the most cases, it's someone that you love or care for, or someone who you hope will look after you, convincing you that it's in your best interest to do whatever they want, because you won't have, in many cases, it's food, shelter, safety, all that stuff, because they'll take it all away if you don't keep doing what it is that they want you to do. And so it becomes a an entrapment thing, and sometimes you don't even know that you're in it until you're in it.
Yeah.
So,
and then you're sitting there wondering, why do I feel trapped? Well, because you are.
Yeah.
That was my experience with somebody like that.
Yeah, it's yeah, because you don't go into these things going, you know what, I want to get trafficked. Look, I'm gonna deal with this with humor, because that's how I can deal with it. And one of the reasons I also want to talk about this is because I'm going to have to start talking about it to strangers very soon, and I'd like my first non person in my actual physical life constantly to be people who I consider friends and loved ones.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'll get straight into it. I won't bury the lead. So I met this person on a dating website. He lied about their age. They're quite a lot older than me. Different generation, basically. Yes. Thanks, Mister. Different generation, all that sort of stuff. Everything was great. I overshare, so I told him a lot about my problems, because at that point in my life, I was like, okay, I want a serious relationship now. I'm ready to settle. And so there was one dude came around. He was weird, because I was trying that whole, trying to date people first thing, and he was so strange. And this was during the beginning of COVID, so he was really. This is a different person. See, he was super strange. Like he was very. We call them cookers in Australia. Like they're very into the Magna Carta and all that sort of stuff. We don't even have Magna Carta here, so I don't know what we're talking about. But he was an Australian version of a cooker. So he was going around saying that the government doesn't mean anything and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, And as someone who has special interest in politics, it was sort of, I was like, nah, that's completely not me. And so the next person that I met was this particular person, and he matched me completely, as in I could talk to him about lots of different things that I could never talk to anybody else about before, because most people don't know. I'm not smarter than anybody. It's just that I know a lot because I'm constantly learning. Like I'm a jack of all knowledge, master of none, I guess you could say. I know a little bit about everything, not enough about one thing. So, but it's like, but because I could do that and do that with him, it felt like I met like an equal match. Everyone else I'd ever been with was either out of sympathy, they had nowhere else to go, or actually that's the only reasons. This was someone that I felt I picked, but in reality I didn't pick him, he picked me. Anyway, it was all great for the first couple of weeks. And then he started talking about my past experiences with other partners and all that sort of stuff. And knowing now, after speaking to my therapist, because I do talk to my therapist quite a lot about this, is that was him grooming me for the future. Oh. Yeah, he was preparing me for conversations that I probably wouldn't have ever if I didn't trust someone. And he did it slowly and insidiously, so I didn't really know that I was getting myself into a situation I didn't want to be in. So for the first couple of months, there was no real feelings for me. I was just having fun, all that sort of stuff. I did one thing for him, and I didn't do it again, because at that point I was starting to develop feelings, and I can't not like that. I can't have two people relationships at the same time. It just doesn't feel right. And also I can't keep up. I'll probably get the name wrong at some point. But anyway, he just matched me perfect. I did this one thing, and then I'm like, I don't want to do it again. And he was like, we'll talk about it later, like in the future. Had a car accident. And he basically forced me to let him buy me a car. And it was all downhill from there. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I wanted to refinance my car and have a loan and all that sort of stuff, because when it's in my name and finance, no one can take it from me.
That's right.
Anyway, he bought me the car, and I went and instantly got it refinanced. So you couldn't take it from me. But that wasn't me thinking that he was going to be nefarious. It's me not having faith in anybody. Me thinking like, once someone buys you something, that's it. They've got something over you.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty big something. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And then at this point, I sort of said, okay, well, if I can in the future, I will pay it back. Never could. And then in the end, when I could, didn't want to. So, because we were done by then, so you're not getting it. But
Okay.
yeah, so he bought me the car. He got me into the situation of trafficking. He wrote I had to talk about it, what he wanted. There's a whole word for it, which I won't use because I find it very offensive. But that's what he wanted. You could probably guess what I'm talking about. It's horrible, and it was sexual assault by proxy, I would call it, because he wasn't the one doing it, but I was being made to do what I didn't want to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Cosmic.
Trigger warning. So that went on, and because I couldn't talk about it, because one, it was traumatic for me every instance. It was trauma, and I just wanted to forget about it, move on, not think about it. I was like, you got what you wanted, that's it. And I can't escape now because he has me financially by the ringer, basically. Yeah. I'm trying to be, because I realize now that there's other channels connected, so I'm trying to be a bit more not Australian with my words. So anyway, that happened, and he would beat me up if I couldn't talk about it. I'm trying to roll through it, so I'm not going through everything. He would beat me up if I couldn't talk about it, which was every time. So there's records of entries into the diary that he would write, and me going to hospital later because I had a mental breakdown and there'd be bruises all over me and all that sort of stuff. And I couldn't tell them because the police wouldn't separate me. And he'd be at the hospital waiting for me. And I just thought, you know what? I can't tell anybody anything. And this is the second time I've been through a domestically violent relationship. And I just thought, I'm ashamed. How could I let this happen to me again? Even though he was completely opposite to anyone else I'd ever been with or met and all that sort of stuff. And he doesn't look like an abuser.
Sometimes
I guess
they
who
don't.
does?
Yeah.
I know. Sometimes you get a look about someone, you're like, feel sorry for his wife. There's just a look. But then you can't tell, can you?
Right.
Well, generally I can tell. I look at the wife. See what the wife is doing. There's
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I do it all the time. I do it when I go to the shops now. I look at the partner, see what it looks like, and I look at the other person and see what their facial expression is.
Yeah.
But you can't even read people on that a lot of the times. But back to the thing. So he beat me up, all that sort of stuff, and I also got drugged. There's a drug called Stilnox.
What is that?
It's a sleeping thing, Stilnox. I think with some people it can cause like them to drive cars, and I don't know. It's been blamed on murders and all that sort of stuff. So I didn't know that's what it was.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was just like at his house, and first night if I stayed at his house, and he gave me this half a sleeping tablet because I couldn't sleep, because I get like this, especially in new situations, or if I'm anxious about stuff, I can't sleep. I just won't sleep. And a lot of it's because sometimes when sleep happens, there's danger. Thank you, Ben. I do feel safe. I'm in my own house. He's not here. I'm safe. So with this drug, it would, especially if you have like alcohol with it, it makes it worse. So he'd give me the drug, and then like 10 minutes later, I was out to it. I don't remember anything. So he would take photos. I would agree to things, apparently. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he'd take photos and all that sort of stuff. And when I was asleep, rearrange me, whatevs. And I was asleep. But I didn't know that it wasn't okay.
Really? Wow.
No, I just thought that's what partners did.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought, people take photos of people when they're asleep in compromising positions. Oh, what is my dog doing? You leave that pillow alone. So, yes, and I just thought that's what people do. Like, I haven't done it. I think it's kind of weird. Like, I'll take photos of people when they're like sleeping funny,
Yeah.
got funny face or something. But I'll be like, hey, show them in the morning. But I'm not. It's just for funny stuff. It's not for anything nefarious. But anyway, do that. And so at some point in the early stages, because my sister was building this house and she asked me to move in. At some point when I was affected by Still Knox, I must have asked him to move in. And so he told me about it. Well, I don't know if I did or he made it up.
Right.
But he started talking about moving in with me, and I was thinking, you haven't even met my kids. So because I didn't want him to meet my children for the first year of a relationship.
Yeah.
It ended up being 6 months, but that's the longest I've ever left it, because I thought I need to know it's okay before I introduce someone else that my kids need to be worried about if I'm going to be safe or not.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Wow.
so, right, I tried to do everything right, still got it wrong. So yeah, I agreed, and then we started planning for that, and I could just feel it in my heart. It was getting closer and closer, and I didn't want to. I was thinking, I'm going to be trapped with him. What's going to happen? But the only thing I thought might have been good about it is that I made him promise that he wouldn't make me do any of the stuff I didn't want to do if my kids were in the house. So my daughter and her partner moved in, and 2 weeks later, he was starting fights, trying to get them to move out, and I kicked him out. Well, my daughter made me kick him out.
Okay.
Yeah, because at that point I was still in the financial control coercion stage. Can't live without you. Blah blah blah. You know, what's going to happen to my children if I can't afford to keep a roof over our heads? Because I've never been in that position before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because he said some of the cruelest things to my daughter that anyone's ever said, and the thing that hurt her the most was that he said to her, "You're not autistic. You're 4 months old. Your mum's 3 years old. Grow up."
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I didn't know. My daughter didn't tell me anything. I asked her if she'd be all right. She says, "As long as you're happy, I'll be happy." So I'm like, okay, because I was hoping she'd say no.
Wow.
So yeah, but anyway, that night stuff happened. Police rocked up. My daughter convinced me to get him to leave, and he did.
Okay.
And then my car, the engine fell out.
Oh.
And so he was contacting me and all that sort of stuff. So I asked him for help because I had no one else. And so he helped me. So yet again, I was indentured.
Beholden to, yeah.
Yeah, it felt like indentured because I was, beholden, indentured, same. And yeah, I know, right? I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud.
Yeah.
But so I was stuck again. And so he started flying me down to Sydney, trying to get me to do the same thing. And crossing over a border is when it becomes trafficking.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be international lines. Yeah.
Okay.
So he crossed me. He flew me down into another state to. Yeah. And so I can't. So I don't know how I'm going to talk about it with the police. I can't even talk about it now. I guess I'm trying to save people some trauma. And yeah, so he ended up. My daughter moved out. Me and her had a big fight about her partner. I was run ragged. I was in the full-blown addiction. Oh, I'll tell you when my addiction started. So I used to drink, on weekends or maybe once or twice during the week. It was never a big thing, and I could always control it. So if I bought a 10-pack of cans, I would be like, okay, well, I'll have 3 now, 3 tomorrow, or whatever. I didn't have to drink it all at once. It was not a thing. Mm-hmm. It got to the stage where I would demolish an entire bottle of tequila and then sing. I'd put on the Henry Rollins band, "You're a Liar," or "I'm a Liar," that song, and I'd just sing it over and over and over again. Because I've got ceiling speakers, and they get really loud. And he'd sit on the couch with his headphones in, watching his football, and I'd be like, over and over and over and over again for hours. I thought it was hilarious. He did not. The neighbours probably didn't either. But He got what he deserved because he's a liar. I mean, not one thing did he ever say to me that was a truth that I can think of. Oh, he also told me how he planned to murder his ex down to the very details. Yeah, she cheated on
You
him
being the ex or the ex before you?
before me, 20 years before me.
Dang.
Yeah, she had a child and it turned out it wasn't his, and he secretly got a DNA test and he ran away and didn't tell anybody. So he's still paying child support for a child that isn't his and his family doesn't even know.
Wow.
Yeah. And the only reason I found out about it is because he needed help with some benefit stuff, and I can read that stuff because it's what I do. And he got all nervous and anxious. He said, "No, don't look." And then he said I was going to get really upset. I wasn't upset that he was paying for this kid. Someone needed to. And
Yeah.
what I was upset about was that he lied. Because
Yeah.
I asked him when I first met him, "Do you have kids?" No. Turns out, one kid, bunch of grandkids.
Wow.
Right. And it's just like, whoa. And the night he told me how old he was the night that my dad tried to murder my stepmother. Right? He thought it was a good idea.
Ooh. Did
Yeah, my
he?
dad only got 9 months for that. So, 9 months has been a sentence for 2 years. That's the way we treat DV in Australia. And my father was caught on camera hitting my stepmother in the head with a wrench of some sort. Yeah, after he tried to set her car on fire. On camera, 9 months, suspended sentence. It's because she had reacted. She reacted. She had a reactive response. Yeah, they've changed the laws a little now. So reactive abuse is a little bit more taken into account. But not so much. That's why I have a, okay, this is a big trigger warning now. So on the last night, so this is an unaliving trigger warning. So he knew my stepfather had done that. And he made me a noose and hung it on my back fence and told me to go do it. And I did. But it's a little
What?
fence, not big enough. Yeah, because I was done. I didn't have my kids. I didn't have my daughter. Didn't want to go through this anymore. And he made one. And because he was in the army. Perfect knots, perfect everything. Hung on the fence. I tried, couldn't do it. So he gave me a knife, told me to stab myself. Because I've been stabbed in the chest with scissors. And so I did. I tried. And because I actually tried, because he must have known that was the point I was done. It wasn't attention. I was never attention. And so I tried to stab myself, and he grabbed a knife, and he got cut in the process. Someone called the police, obviously. It wasn't me. I don't think it was him, because he never wanted the police being called. And they
Wow.
came, and they saw the noose, and they knew it wasn't me. They took one look at me, probably saw my shoelaces, and said, "No, she can't tie that noose." Sorry, I'm making a joke, trying to keep it light. Yeah, and so he got cut in the process, and because he got cut and I couldn't talk about what he'd done, I was the one who ended up with the domestic violence order on me.
Has that been straightened out since?
Nope. But it won't be too hard because I'll just have to go to court and do the stuff. They've already opened an investigation. So I've left out the majority of things. I don't think this is going to affect it because there's plenty of people who talk about what happens to them in first, like before they go to court, or they don't even go to court, and it's okay, even though our laws over here are draconian and they protect the abuser, not the abused. But
Yeah.
still, I'm done. I'm done keeping quiet. I'm done being a little wallflower who just gets stepped on.
Yeah.
And I'm done. And that's
Yeah.
it. And so that was the last night, and haven't spoken to him since.
Okay.
Not allowed.
Wow.
Actually, this is a really funny story. I'm going to really lighten the mood. So when we have these DV things in Australia, you have to go to court. You have to present yourself there. Otherwise, say if I put it on somebody, the police did for me. So he's got like a 5 years. He's not allowed to get near me. Can't talk to me or anyone for 5 years. But I had to be in court with him. And so he was trying to get the police to do they call it a keeping the peace order. So if someone's got their stuff at your house, they'll come through, the police will come in, and so they can collect their personal items, just personal items, things like phones, paperwork, all that sort of stuff. They can't take anything big because the police aren't removalists. They're not there to watch a house being moved. So I spoke to a lawyer, and I found out that everything that he'd left, because he's bought these TVs, he bought these. I would never buy a TV this big. It's ridiculous. That's why I'm using it as a computer, because it's funny. And so I've got like 3 TVs, 3 beds, 3 mattresses, a whole bunch of stuff, heaps of tools. I've never used a drill in my life. I just use it now just to go, mine. My drill, I got a drill. Ooh, look at me with a drill. Because I went around the house going, because if you contest it, I'm like, contested. Because I told him, if he wants anything, take me to civil court. Because it'll cost him more to take me to civil court than get back his stuff. And I like this TV now, adapted. So, my TV. And when he came back, because this was a TV he brought to the house the first time, the computer TV, he got really annoyed that I called it my TV. I'm like, but it is my TV. You left mine. So, and then he bought another one, even more expensive, even more ridiculous. So I'm just like watching my TVs, and I watched it with joy. And I drive my car with joy, going, my car, can't take it. Nah. You know, I'm petty as heck. So,
well, it's understandable, though. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's a lot to lay on people, but
no, it's not. I mean, it is, but I mean, I'm really glad that you are free to share your story, though.
Yes.
You know, you've been kind of clammed up, you know, and yeah. I'm so
I'm not
sorry
good on
that
secrets.
That.
Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm not good with secrets, so when I have a secret, I find it hard to talk about anything else because it's in there. I think that might be why I had difficulty sleeping, because I was thinking about what I would say, what I should leave out, what would be too much, because I don't want to hurt anybody, because I was hurt. Even I know that there's vicarious trauma, and you know, but just know that anyone who's sharing your story with me, it's not traumatic for me, and not because wasn't traumatic for you. It's because I want to help, I want to hear, and I want you all to be heard. Whoever hasn't, I just want you to be heard, because I wasn't.
Rolling Stone says, "Don't apologize. Please don't apologize. I'm so glad to know more about you, Cosmic, no matter how hard it is to hear or tell. That's what friends are for."
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, but I guess majoritively, I guess you guys share so much, and I was holding back something massive.
Yeah.
And I guess I hope it kind of helps people understand me a little bit more. Why I'm always on the verge of tears. It's not because I'm this sad. I am a little bit, but I'm not. It's because I cry when I'm angry. I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad. I'm a crier. I drink a lot of water, so keep up. But yeah, it's not. And I do. I watched the my interview yesterday with Kim.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't handle watching myself back. Sorry, but yeah, especially when I'm crying. No one cries pretty.
That's true.
Yeah. So anyway, how are you today?
Doing well. So incredibly brave. I'm grateful to know that there are people out there who are finding their strength and standing up for themselves. We are all in this together. Thank you for being you, Cosmic.
Thanks, Misha.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have done this without knowing all of you like I do now. It's not something I could have said in the beginning.
Right.
So, and a lot of it's because you've shared. So I feel like it is safe to share. Because when I've shared before, it's been used against me.
Wow.
Not by friends. But it's the last time I shared everything. Well, not everything. It got used against me. So I feel like in some way this might be too, but not by you people here. So thanks, Crystal. I was so awkward. I realized I've got a lot of stims. A lot.
A lot of what?
They were. Stimulation things. So when I'm talking and stuff, I'm very fidgety.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, so it's just I can't sit still. But yeah. So how are you, Becca?
Crystal said
I
you did
am.
a channel.
Crystal said you did amazing. I went to bed very early, and I didn't. I had to turn off technology last night, so I'm going to watch that though. I want to see what happened. I'm just thank you for sharing, and please know I love you even more now than I did before. I care about you. You are supported. Please let us know if there's anything you need.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
the
I think
fact
this is
that
what
you
I
have
need.
made it through all of this is absolutely amazing. You are so strong.
No, thanks. Although sometimes I feel like I'm more like a cockroach, not really strong. I'm just too small and like buggy to get squished.
That can be okay though. Hard outer shell, maybe. That I don't know. I don't know how cockroaches like make it. But.
We've got bush cockroaches here. They're really cute. You want to hold? They're patable. They're not like the ugly little German gross ones. You can pet these ones. You put them back out. They don't live inside, so that's what's good about them.
Okay.
I'm strange about bugs. I like bugs.
Except for
spiders.
spiders. No spiders. I'm arachnophobic.
Yeah, no, same. Especially here. So
Yeah.
And self-forgiveness, I'm working on that.
Yeah. I'm trying to get that comment up there. It just keeps. Yeah. There it is. Self-forgiveness is one of the most important things we can do. Yes, Kristen.
I'm too busy looking at what's in your background and trying to figure out what's on your whiteboard, Ben.
What now? Oh.
Oh, he said, "Have you seen me? You did good." So yeah, I like stuff too. Actually, that was my bio on the dating app. It's like, write something about you. I was like, I like stuff. It's actually on my, I think it's on my, one of my Instagrams or something. It's just, what do you say? I'm
Right. Yeah. I always found that very awkward too, being on dating sites.
It's actually kind of hilarious now. It's really funny because you got to try and pick out who's real and who's a bot.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
hadn't even
pretty
thought
funny.
about bots. They didn't have bots when I was on dating apps.
I
Now
haven't
they
come,
do.
actually, I think I come across them on Facebook. They're usually crypto bros.
Okay.
They've got cryptocurrency in their thing, but I don't know if they're bots or just scammers. So, but they're all got crypto in there. Yeah. So, because I'm getting a lot of ads lately.
Who says they couldn't be the same thing? Bots and
True.
scams.
Well, I think a bot is a scam. So.
So there's chat bots that can be not scams.
I still think it's a scam because you're not talking to a real person. As long as you know it's a chatbot, it's fine, but it's still annoying because you're like, they never answer the question that you want. They just direct you to go look for the question yourself. And like, what's the point of this?
No, I understand that. I know in IT we have one that you can chat with if you need some basic stuff.
Oh, okay. I've been having fun with Meta. I've been asking them.
I'm not on there.
Well, there's some Meta chatbot thing. So I just ask it stupid stuff about Mark Zuckerberg. What's Mark Zuckerberg having for dinner? They never know.
What are you having for dinner? I don't know either. I don't know. I'm off tomorrow, which I'm really glad of. I'm taking a couple of days off, so I'm taking off tomorrow so I can do appointments and all the stuff that fatigue-wise I can't normally do. I just don't have the energy to normally do, and I need to do some meal prep, and so I kind of got an emergency vacation time because I don't normally want to do that with such short notice. And then I'm off Monday, and Monday I hope to sew. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
So,
now, do you do your quilts by machine or by hand?
By machine. I don't do anything really by hand. I've embroidered, crocheted, or embroidered, cross-stitched. I don't like mending, even though I know how to do it. So it's all machine pieced. And then I don't use generally regular batting. I'll often use fleece or flannel and combine things just because those don't come apart the way batting can. And so I don't have to quilt as close together. So you can
Okay.
get by with a couple of lines, 8 inches apart, and you're not worried about something coming apart on there. So that's what I do. And then the binding even is put on by machine. So I've got my London Calling block of the month I want to do, and then the quilt that's already cut and started.
Is the London Calling the one with the buses and the
Yes.
Big Ben looking thing? I like
Yes.
that one.
Yep. So we're at the halfway point, and now that we're in May 15th, the next block comes out. I can't remember what the last block was. Now I want to know.
I think that's amazing. I didn't even know that they were all separate bits. I thought you just bought those bits and sewed them together. And then I thought, how did they do that back in the olden days?
No, there was a fabric pack. So this is kind of rare. I also ordered this before I moved and when I had a little bit more disposable income. So the next block is Tower Bridge. You'll see this one. And the block pieces are going to look like this. So there's 3. You just don't put them all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't know what this is going to look like. So we're making all of these pieces with no clue. So what I do, and I've already done this part of it, is this is all the individual. It's just gray and cream mostly. So I cut out all the individual pieces. There's 10 different things in here. And then
That's probably the bit I'd like doing is the cutting.
Yeah, I realized my hobby is taking fabric, perfectly good fabric, cutting it into little tiny pieces, and then sewing it back together.
Seems nonsensical, does it?
It does.
But you have your own. But the thing is, you're making something unique and
So this is the last one.
Oh,
I love that one. Gosh, they're bigger than I thought. I thought they were little.
And see that I even did a little kind of embroidery for the clock tower picture. That isn't in the pattern.
okay.
So this is one. This is block 8, but you've got, each one of these month, there's, like, this is Harrods.
Okay.
So it's just, there's Covenant Garden. So in Facebook, I'm posting and putting all of them.
Wow.
But yeah, each month there's a different thing. Oh,
so do you all do a bit and put it together, or?
So everybody who's doing this, we're doing each block as it comes out. It's a block of the month, so you get a certain number. Now they include, this month there's just one block. Some months there's more than one. So you'll get, usually it's not more than 2. So like this one took me forever. I think this one was 8 hours.
Okay.
To do.
I believe.
There's a lot of sewing in that though, and cutting, I guess.
It is. And then, these are like what they would call snowball blocks. Everything is trimmed after it is. So you're doing, it's lots of intricate stuff that I don't normally do. And
you
then
start a YouTube channel and do sewing. People would love to watch you do this. No word of lie.
I have thought about it, but then I'm like, there's other people doing the same thing. I'm not doing anything unique.
I don't want to watch them. I want to watch you.
I'd have to start with a camera. I'd have to do some stuff. But yeah, I love, I don't know, this is just fun. And then I think our last block comes out in November. I think it's November of this year. And then I think December's, in essence, block is giving us the full pattern of how we put this all together. So yeah, so we'll see. We're supposedly halfway through. So that means there's probably 10 more blocks that we're going to be doing. And then so it'll be multiple months with more than one. And yeah. So yeah, so this is my little computer blocks. And what's that one? Oh, that's the phone booth.
Oh, yes. You know what would be cool? A blue one. You can say it's Doctor Who.
Yes. I have Doctor Who fabric.
Hardest.
Final.
Nice.
There's something I was going to say. Oh, anyone who wants to do any sort of streaming or whatever, I got my microphone, camera, a ring light, and a 4K camera for under $80 for the whole setup.
Cool.
Kristen, thank you so much for being here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And thank
so
you for
it's
sharing.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you, Stasia. Yeah, I've thought about doing like a YouTube channel or doing some of those things. And then I'm just like, I'm not doing anything that isn't already been done. Kind of feeling like, what am I bringing to it that people don't already have? But I do really love sewing. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of open sew. See, this little fur baby, it really wants her food.
Oh, yeah.
See, I've the videos that I have on YouTube on my channel, I put up so they're there, so I didn't lose them because I'm always breaking phones and losing cameras and those little memory cards. I don't keep stuff, and I don't believe that the cloud is going to be there forever. So I just put everything on all my different things. Not everything is there, but that's my version of keeping it, and that's why I've got YouTube because I think it's probably going to be around longer than Facebook. So, but we'll see. If not, I can download it from YouTube. You can't download them from Facebook. We can download the whole thing, like your whole history or whatever, everything you posted, your timeline or whatever they call it. You can download all that, all the photos, but it's all in one big thing. You can't just get each one singly. So
yeah,
that's what I do. I guess that's my version of journaling as well. I actually did a journal type activity yesterday. I wrote to my 7-year-old self. So,
Oh, right on.
well, yeah. But I did it in a way that was, you can't avoid what's coming because you can't. I can't say, don't do this to my 7-year-old self because then you'll avoid this because I'm here already. Can't avoid it. So I made it that I had to say something to my 7-year-old self that I wanted to hear, my 7-year-old self would want to hear. That was preparing me and saying that I'm going to be okay eventually because I never knew that as a child. It was funny.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's right. As kids, we don't know that it's going to be okay.
No, especially if your parents aren't if you're not safe, and the two people in the world who are meant to protect you more than anyone, mum and dad. And if they don't, I understand completely why I don't have faith in people. My poor son, he heard me say that to my mother yesterday. And he's like, thanks, noted. I'm like, you're not included. I don't include my kids because they're part of me. So, but yeah, everybody else, as I said, I don't think there's anyone that I have faith in completely because you can't. And I just keep getting proven over and over again that when I put my faith in people, it's unwarranted. So now I just, high hopes, low expectations. If that makes sense.
That does make sense. It makes total sense.
I think it's kind of normal.
Yeah.
Do you often feel alone too?
Yeah, all the time.
Because I was going to say, I do too. And I kind of feel like I'm rare. But yeah, when you can't trust your family to treat you and love you, and I am learning this in therapy, you come out a lot of times not like feeling alone and not trusting that other people will love you, care for you, do all those things. And I don't even 100% trust myself, but I don't trust most people. So completely
I don't trust myself.
Rare.
I mean,
but
look what happens when I put myself in charge. I get myself in silly situations. I don't trust myself at all. So now what I'm going to do to protect myself is I'm not going to tell people everything from the beginning. They can find out organically because I want to ask them their red flags first. And then I'll see if it matches and if they're telling the truth. And then maybe they deserve to know. That's if I ever decide. But right now, I'm not anti-men. I think, has anyone heard of that bear story? Would you rather be left alone in the woods with a man or a bear? A stranger man or a bear?
Yeah, I've been hearing that one. Yeah.
Depends, but probably bear. Because the bear, the bear, you know how they're going to respond. The strange man, you don't know. I mean, I'm dating somebody I think is a really good man, and I still don't.
Yeah.
There's a certain
And
portion.
it's not
No, go
well,
ahead.
and the whole point of the bear, and if you'd rather be left with the bear story, is for men or people in general to think about why so many would rather stay with the bear. Like, I don't want to have to choose the bear. I'd rather choose the man, because I've seen those bears. They do a bit of damage. They got sharp, scratchy things, claws. But statistically, those bears are as afraid of you as you are of them, unless they're super hungry, and they're likely to leave you alone. So as long as we have like separate corners, me and the bear will be fine. Me and the man, depends on the man. So it's not all men, but it's usually men. And don't mean that in any sort of way to Ben or
Some
people that
really
you love
good
and
men
know.
out there.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
because
but there's so
honestly,
many bad that ruin it for everybody else.
I think personally that there's less bad than we think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the bad ones are going around doing it all the time because they're getting away with it.
Yeah.
Like my father, the amount of women, I couldn't imagine how many people he's abused, and like he's gotten away with it. I mean, and he's still getting away with it. Like he's not really suffered any consequences. He didn't go to jail. He just had his photo in the paper and looked like an idiot, So the consequences aren't big enough, and that goes for everything. And there is a gender difference. There's certain crimes that if a man commits seems to be okay, but if a woman commits, it's a lot worse. You'll find, and there's a color differentiation too. Like I don't like saying races because we're all human, but skin tone that can affect how you're treated by certain people in certain circumstances, and it's just ridiculous.
It is.
I'll be treated different than somebody who's African American because I'm white, potentially.
Yeah. I will get treated differently to an Indigenous Australian because I'm white. I'm a white presenting, even though I'm Pacific Islander. And you know what? I never knew that I had white privilege. I always thought that I don't have privilege because I am, as
all
a
the
victim,
abuse,
you don't think you've got
everything.
privilege. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have privilege. So I was having a drink up in just a can somewhere, and I got told that I'm allowed to drink because I have white privilege. I'm like, what? But the Indigenous people, if they're caught with it can just look like a drink, because it was a can and a what do you call it? We call it stubby coolers. I think you call them something else. They're little coolers for the cans. So it looked like I was drinking alcohol, and I was worried because there's police walking around, and they can just come up to you and question you. And if you're an Indigenous person, they can arrest you drinking in public, and they might arrest you.
So why
alcohol.
is there a law for one set of people and not another?
There's the same law for everyone. It's just enforced more for one particular group because of bias.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's Indigenous up in, I don't know very much about Australia, but the Indigenous up in Canada, I mean, there's a reason they call that one road the Trail of Tears. And the number of Indigenous women that have disappeared, that they're never heard from again. I mean,
and no one's doing anything about it.
Right.
Nothing is
I've been watching some YouTube things.
Nothing.
Right.
Well, and the exact same thing is happening to Indigenous women here in Australia, and children. They're going missing. There was one little white girl went missing. Cleo, her name was. You probably heard of her. She went missing, and she was found like days and days later. We heard she was constant on the news, full stop, non-stop, 24/7 news. This little girl's missing. Pray for Cleo, pray for Cleo. A little Indigenous girl's gone missing recently. Nothing. I only hear about it because I follow a whole bunch of Indigenous accounts on Twitter. So that's how I find out the news. Is that, yeah. So we're not hearing anything about it. And there's a whole bunch of Indigenous women who are going through abuse and stuff, but because of apparently it's culture, it's not their culture.
No, it's not. It's abuse.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, but they don't. But they're like, oh, let them deal with it. They've got tribal law. No, we've created this problem as white people, colonialists. We created this problem. We put them in places where they should never have been. Changed their complete system. Like Indigenous Australians are the oldest continuous living culture in the world. They're like 70,000 years plus, and they're still fighting older and older and older things. So it's just I am mind blown that this country, my country, Australia, my home country now, is not proud of it having the longest continuous culture, and the fact that they're not trying to.
That's messed up.
It is, and we even had a white Australia policy. They tried to breed them out. My children's great grandmother was from a stolen generation, so she was taken from her mother and put into a foster home with white family. Mm-hmm. And my kid's grandma didn't even know she was Indigenous until after I met their father. So
we did that to Native Americans in this country, and I'm sure it's in other places too.
Yes, lots of places. It happened to a smaller degree in New Zealand, but the Maoris are like warriors. They weren't going to take it lying down. But their treaty, they actually got a treaty. Australians never had a treaty. That's why there's that whole Treaty Now song. If you've ever seen Inferno Man, it's at the beginning. But the way that it's being done is creating such generational trauma that it will be creating things like a mental health issue. So it's a perfect conversation for this. It's creating mental health issues because it's generational trauma. People who have been told that they're not any sort of worth of anything because they're different, basically. It's just because they're different. Not that they're not the same. It's just they look different.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
This is the part I don't know how you fix, because we need to make it so that especially men in our patriarchy don't consider women less than. But how, short of changing the entire patriarchy, do we have men be accountable? That kind of, because I know they've done in the cities here, they've done marches where it's not what I wear. It shouldn't matter what I wear, whether, you hit on me or like a sexual assault. It shouldn't matter what you wear. I mean, the cult I grew up in, you were blamed on. You were a temptation to the men, and it was your fault if you made them stumble.
Men. But it's like, that's like I think, were you here yesterday? It's that thing, see what you made me do? It's because of your actions that I abused you. No, it's because you can't control yourself that you abuse me. But what I think the biggest thing that we can do is teach children to keep their hands to themselves from the very beginning.
Consent.
No touchies. Consent. Don't touch unless you're allowed. Don't hit, ever.
Yes. And I agree with Rick. I think the person I'm dating is one of those nice guys, and he's done a really good job. Like, every time his kids from when they were little, there's a consent video on YouTube about tea. And every time one of his sons would touch the other or go into each other's room or take something, they had to watch the consent video. So they don't do that anymore.
They tried to teach us consent here with an ad about ice cream.
Okay.
It was not good. It was not good because we also had a women's march here. Okay. On the weekend, and our Prime Minister stood up, and he wasn't going to talk, and then he was getting heckled in the crowd, and he got up and lied that the organizer wouldn't let him speak, and she said, "You're flat out lying." And this woman's 22. She's arranged one of the biggest marches in Australia for the day, been through a horrific experience, and then her Prime Minister lies to her and victimizes her on a world stage, basically. Yeah. So I just think, our Prime Minister, on a day that we were marching for women, he acted like a man. He goes, "Oh, I can talk. I'm the Prime Minister. I rule this country," or something. I'll look to those. I run this country. All right, man.
How do we shame them? That's the part. I'm like, they feel okay doing this. I don't know. Is there a way to shame them into not wanting to do some of these things? Because
have you ever been on Twitter? No, there's not. I was on Twitter yesterday, trying to not shame people, just trying to get them to understand that what they're saying is wrong. Stop it. And they don't. They just dig down. Mine was about politics and saying that just because you are on that particular side, you can still say that the Prime Minister is doing something wrong. You don't have to be a Prime Minister stan. It's like people don't know what the song stan means. It's like, have they never listened to Eminem? It's not a good thing. You don't want to be someone's stan. So if you want to watch it, it's it stands on a good thing. So people say, "Oh, I'm a Taylor Swift stan." All right, psycho, you're probably a stalker then.
On that bear, the only bear that I would not look at in the bear man story, if it's a polar bear, I'm taking the man.
Yeah, my husband said something about polar bears the other day.
Polar bears especially consider people food.
They will.
Polar bears are more likely to kill you.
If they see you.
I heard something.
Yeah.
Like brown bears, something, black bears, something,
polar bears will.
White bear run.
Yeah, here in Minnesota, it's black bear. Black bears will climb a tree, and they, I'm not worried.
They look so cuddly.
They
really
do.
Yeah.
Well, I think koalas look cuddly too, even though I know they've got murder mittens like all bears. And all
those dog bears, no, and they smell, and they're always stoned. that's a lie. No, they don't actually that doesn't do that. The eucalyptus leaves, apparently it's a thing. They just sleep all day because it's really low in nutrients. So they have to eat a lot, and it takes a lot to break down, because no one should be eating eucalyptus leaves. We've just got little dumb animals over here. Dr. Chlamydia, who's doing it?
Yeah,
that's
consent video. It's good. Yeah, I do. My cat's murder mittens gets regularly trimmed, or I've heard them called death blades, or I can't remember what the other one. Yeah, they're little murder mittens.
I love all the weird names for animals. There's a whole list of them. I like snakes are note ropes and danger noodles, and then you've got something for frog. There's something for everything. It's cute. I think the zebras are like confused horses, something like that, because they're black and white. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rolling Stone. You pick the kind of bear that it is. Hands down the bear every time. Because then you can pick something really mellow like the koala bear. Are they really? Or are they like something else?
No, they're a marsupial. They've got a pouch.
I was going to say.
They're not a bear. Yeah. So I used to say.
I'll take a black bear. I know brown bears are a little bit worse than black bears, and then grizzly bears are worse than that, and then I know polar bears are the worst because they consider people food.
Yes.
What about sun bears? What are they like?
I don't know what they are.
Aren't they
sun
kind
bears?
of smaller bears?
I'm not sure, but they keep them in cages somewhere and extract the bile from them. But they look really like, they got like this little, they're like brown with this thing here. Yeah, they're treated horribly.
Vegetarian?
The bears are. I don't think the people are. I'm not sure what they're getting the bile for. I think it's some sort of natural remedy or something, like tiger doodles and stuff. Yeah, some people are into that.
One with cats. Oh my God. Smush them. That's what I've learned. If you smush a kitty underneath your chest, they do tend to. But yeah, I do DJ's nails on my own. But yeah, that's 162 claws. That's a lot of nails.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I got my cat a scratching thing and just used to get a water bottle keep away from the couch. I spray with water every time she tried to scratch on the couch.
Actually, there's spray you can get that I put on mine and DJ doesn't do. She's never really done it, but there's spray that they don't like that I put on the edge of the couch.
If the kitten had been around longer, I would have eventually got it. But I was trying to train her out of scratching things. But yeah, little brat. I love that cat. I wonder how she's going.
Yeah, somebody mentioned panda. I don't know how deadly pandas are.
I want a panda.
They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
They're also very dumb. Have you seen them fall out of things? It's hilarious. Of all the animals that shouldn't exist, it's pandas. You know, we're keeping those.
Well, we're keeping them alive.
Of evolution alive.
Keeping them alive.
No. Yeah, exactly. You know,
yeah,
but it's like why we keep. It's actually a propaganda thing to keep them alive because they're hired out by the particular country where they come from, and each country has to pay. Doesn't China
say they all belong to them?
Yeah, even if there's one born in the country, it's China and it gets sent back, which is fine in some way, but it is propaganda. It's a propaganda tool, which is unfortunate.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So but I get upset when I see sugar gliders over, people with sugar gliders down their shirts and stuff, because those things live in communities. They're not meant to live by themselves. They've got, like, of course, sugar gliders live together. So when they're one by themselves as a pet, I'm like, here's this little buddies. It doesn't have anyone to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do generally like pets to have a buddy. DJ came alone because she wanted to be an only cat.
yeah,
And she's
Tequila's an
sick.
only dog.
And she might be a little spoiled. And I might manually take out her heated cat bed now. I think this is going to be a morning thing, to take it out to the deck and put it out
It
there
looks
so
really
she can.
nice in the dog.
Oh,
I like the picture.
She hung out there all day. I was freezing cold in here. It's like 50. It was like 49, 50 degrees. I'm wrapped up in sweaters and my blankets, and I'm like trying to work. And she's out there, yeah, all comfy in her heated cat bed.
I'm just writing that they changed some laws in the USA about trafficking recently. I think
really?
Down the Rabbit Hole posted it or something like that, or maybe not Down the Rabbit Hole. Someone did, because, as she was saying, if you are someone who thinks you have been or are being trafficked, and that could be any of the versions, like there's labour, the other, and there's something else as well. There's different things she's explained. I think it's Down the Rabbit Hole. I'll just check. But yeah, they've just changed the laws in America. I didn't read it properly, but it'd be interesting to know what they say, because we tend to follow in some ways.
I know that in the U.S., there's human trafficking in just about every city, every area that you've ever been to.
There'll be human trafficking in every town you're in, because,
yes,
as I said, it's not people stealing people off the street. It could be.
And they're brought in, like if the Super Bowl comes, a whole bunch of people get human trafficked up to wherever that is. Yeah. And I don't, yeah. It's bad.
Well, I kind of don't think we have the same issues as far as, well, that's not even true. Sorry, I take it back. Take it all back. We do. We've got the same problems out in farms here. So farmers, not so much farmers, but contractors will get people from a different country, come over here, put them in a house. So there'll be like 4 people on bunk beds in one tiny room. And then they take their passports, and the people who work then have to pay off the flights, the rent, their food, everything, with the money that they earn from work. And you don't earn much on a farm, more than minimum wage workers in America generally, but not that much.
I was going to say, even if they did earn a lot, they still make whatever they cost is far worse or far more. So you don't work it off in a year.
Yeah, see, that's when you're indentured. It's not slavery, but it is indentured, because you are earning money, but you're not getting
I kind of feel like it is slavery a lot of times, most of the time.
Legally, it's not legal. It's not considered legally. Yeah, right. But it is indentured, which is a form of slavery. I mean, that's how we got people over here for the convict thing. Is they'd be convict and sent over here to work out their time in houses and stuff, and that was the beginning of Australia's abuse of children.
Well, and then you hear stories about, someone in a poor country sells their daughter to somebody and then sends them, so they get transported. Let's say somebody in Thailand sells their daughter. That person ends up in, I don't know, China, the US, somewhere.
In the majority of cases, it's not people being sold. It's people thinking they're being helped. So their daughter or their son is getting sent to school in America. So
jobs. I've heard about jobs. Yeah, you're gonna be a maid in this. Yeah.
A lot of because I watched a lot of this stuff. For some reason, I like to torture myself with other people's. But I don't know. I feel connection. But it's like a lot of these people, they're actually. They think they're going to get an education, because, especially women, because they don't have an education in a lot of third world countries. So these parents think, okay, I'm going to send my daughter over because she's going to work for this person. As she gets education, they'll send money back. A lot of times they don't even get the money.
Right.
So they just lose their child. So that's not to say there aren't plenty of people out there who are terrible, horrible people who are selling their kids. But a majority of cases, that's not it. They're thinking they're putting their children into a better life. Yeah.
And there could be not even a sold. It could be somebody needs a job and you're going to be a waitress, or you're going to be.
If money changes hands at any stage, it's sold. But what I'm saying is a lot of these parents don't understand that. So
yeah.
they don't think they're selling. They just think they're getting help and assistance. So it's like a lot of people from other countries. I don't understand why people think just because people don't speak the same language, they must be silly. Like it seems to be something that happens here. Like, you know, if you're from India or all that sort of places, you know, people look down on those people because they think they don't have any form of education at all. I mean, Google was made by an Indian person or someone in India or something like that. But, you know, they're incredibly intelligent. They were also a very old, you know, culture. So it's like, why do people who come along and just and think, oh, well, they must be silly because they look different, they speak different. They may not speak English as well as I can, but I can't speak 2 languages. So, and that's what I think people forget, is that when someone is having difficulty when they speak another language, it's their second language.
True. Yep.
Sometimes third or fourth. So.
Yeah, we should make sure people click that like and or subscribe button, or both, depending.
On the lifeboat and here.
Yes. Yeah, I can only watch those documentaries on kind of on human trafficking, child trafficking, and a lot of that other kind of stuff. I can only watch so much of that. There's a portion I'll go in spurts because I feel like I need to know. So if I see something, I can say something. So if I see someone, maybe I can speak to them, and maybe I just, you know, maybe, I don't know, but maybe I'll recognize something, and I kind of feel like I should know as a human being. These are other human beings going through this.
We're very good at hiding it. No one knew. I'm just thinking, like, if someone had I was asked if I was okay. I'm just trying to think if there's something, if someone had noticed, because everything's on my face. I'm sure it was there, what they could have done or said, and I really don't know. So if you ever feel like you've missed something, don't feel bad, because if you don't know, you don't know, and you can't help if you don't know. So
it's true. That's true.
Yeah, and that's not to say nothing could have helped. I just don't know. You know, in hindsight, what could have at that point? Because knowing me at that point, I couldn't even tell the police, and they had guns, and they could if he attacked me while I was telling him, they could have got him. So, but you know, but I still couldn't. And a lot of it's shame and fear, and
and that's counted upon. They're counting on the shame and the fear. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he in particular was counting on it, because he would say that he was going to post my stuff at places, and he did. He made up a whole account on a particular site. I'm still getting recognized from that site.
Oh,
People,
no.
This is pretty unique.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So have you kind of forgiven yourself a little bit for not telling the police? I'm not sure how.
They didn't make it easy. They made it hard, because what they're supposed to do is, if there's a situation where I think there could be possible domestic violence, they're meant to separate you. One person at one end of the house, other person at the other end of the house, neither can hear the other, not allowed to talk to each other during it. And that never happened, not until the last time. And that's the time that I actually got, because he was caring, loving, supportive boyfriend, patting the crazy woman on the back, you know, that he'd got to that point.
Yeah.
Because I was generally, by the time the police rocked up, the whole was like, what? I was mental, and not mental as in literally, but he had made me that way. And I'm not. Oh, he also got me into drinking on a regular basis every day. Like, I'd go to his house and he'd get me drinks. He'd buy me wine and he'd ask me how much I was drinking. He was hoping that I would have the same alcohol problem that he did, because he was drinking constantly. Like, I used to see him drink, and he'd get drunk and he wouldn't remember what he was saying. So I had to start recording what he was saying to make sure that when I listened back that I didn't hear wrong, because I was on Still Knocks or something. You know, like, because of this drug and the alcohol, he got me thinking that I was crazy. and wasn't crazy. I actually
You're
was going
crazy.
through everything. Yeah, so it's just, but that's how insidious it is. You don't know, and
Yeah.
and that's. I just feel like people shouldn't feel bad for not knowing that something's happened to someone in their life, even though you probably will. But without that person reaching out for help, there's a lot of times you won't ever know because we're good at masking. We're good at I can cover a bruise like a pro.
I was gonna say, I notice you do something that I do. It's the laugh to cover the either. I don't know if it's just like discomfort and when you're starting to feel sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I send you
Well,
a
I also it's
hug.
yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
self-soothing. I've been doing that for years. Yeah.
That's all I should say.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, but see, that's why I love it so much because it's something that I've done for years. Because and I squeeze hug my arms because I feel like I'm trying to move the blood through because I feel frozen. That's when I'm doing this. I feel frozen. I can't do anything. So, but it is it is what it is, and I've been through it now, and I got through it, and I'll get through the next stage.
Yes,
Like
you
I've got through
will.
everything else. And I just
Yes,
want
you
everyone to
will.
know because I did tell my therapist this: if anything happens to me, I want to be alive. It wasn't me. Doing an Epstein here. I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it because I want to be alive. So if anything happens and it looks like it wasn't me, or it was me, wasn't me.
Are you at risk from that person coming back to you, or
Insofar that I know the very explicit details of how he planned to murder his second partner, he calls it. But yeah, that's the risk. And he was in the army, and I know his capabilities and what he has the ability to do. Like, see the creek in the background there? That's what he was going to bury her in. Dig a hole in the creek and bury in the hole. Yep, he even showed me where.
Oh,
And all she did was lie about having a kid. I am going to destroy his life. I already kind of have in some ways.
okay.
So I am at risk. I'm at risk, but I'm no more at risk than anybody else who's left somebody, I think. You don't know.
Okay.
And I'm sick of looking around.
Over your shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Miss
very lucky
Sunrise
that he's got a
Dawn
tick of car.
is having eye surgery. I don't know if you can see our ones in the
Oh,
on the needing a meeting side, but there's a lot of ones going out for you, Miss Sunrise Dawn.
All the
Ooh,
ones.
be awake for a surgery. Ooh.
On your eye? Did you say eye?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it on your eye? On your eye or the hole that your eye sits in?
Yeah. Eye surgery.
yes,
Be
we're
awake.
sending you
Yes.
positive, good thoughts, lots of hugs and support and love.
You can't not look.
Colin wants to know, Cosmic, if you believe in spiritualism.
I do for other people, not so much for me anymore. And that's not, it's just I've got so much in the real life I've got to focus on. I can't focus on stuff that I don't even know is there.
Fair.
And I'm a good person, so I think I'm all right on that side, And I'm baptized and all that sort of stuff, so I'm hedging all my bets here.
Yeah, I agree. You're a good person.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's funny because if
the same way, because I'm agnostic. I don't know if there's a God or not, but I tend to think that if there is a God, I'm a good enough human being that he'll say, "Okay, come on in. You've been through enough."
That's why I like the Swedenborg version.
I don't believe that a God who wouldn't allow people to question would be a very intelligent God.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, God should be at least intelligent.
If God wasn't that intelligent, then I think maybe I would like to be in hell because all the fun people will be there.
But I'll probably be there.
If you're there, I will be there too, probably.
No.
Then it would be but that would be a kind of a vindictive, horrible God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think that God is as petty as people make God out to be.
I've also heard people kind of, I guess maybe philosophize is the right word, but that hell is different for other people, for everybody. So what your hell could be, your bad, what could be really bad for you might be great for somebody else. So somebody's hell might be the quilting store that would be heaven for me, but that might be hell for them. I don't know.
Did you guys ever watch that show Lucifer?
Yes. I haven't watched. I haven't finished watching it yet.
But yeah, that was the premise of what hell was. It's the thing that is the thing for you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, I don't actually think there is one. I don't think there is a hell, because in the Bible, like it didn't come into the Bible for a very long time after it was originally written. Because I got all the way back into like the origins of the Bible because I wanted to argue about it with people. Anyway, so there wasn't a version of hell until I guess people needed some.
Yeah, no, there wasn't any.
Or something.
It's my understanding that Zoroastrianism is what introduced hell into Judaism.
And that was a sect. That was a different sect. So it was like another cult coming in and infecting a big cult. Well, not that I think that Judaism is a cult. Sorry. I didn't mean it like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like the religion. It's like one part of the religion is coming in and infecting a different part. It's like, I guess there's different aspects of evangelical stuff that's flown into non-evangelical churches, you know, which is sad. Well, the fundamentalist evangelicals.
I was going to say, I think there's extremes in every religion that fall into that cult-like.
There's fundamentalists in Buddhism.
There may be an exception, but yeah.
Oh, thanks, Colin. I accept any messages from anyone. I'm sure I know someone with breathing problems. I just can't think of it. Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
I know a lot of people who've passed who I love very much who would love me too, so I'll take it.
Right on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And that would not surprise me if hell didn't exist and it was used as, because religion's often been used as a way to control people. And so it wouldn't surprise me if that was a way to kind of maybe control people. I don't know.
Maybe there's it became a time where just being a good person wasn't enough. So, right. And they had to be scared into it. But I think a lot of it's got to do with people in power wanting to keep power rather than actually being anything wrong with the fundamental parts of it, you know, the dogma of the religion rather than the actual full amount, you know, like love people, be good. I think that's something that should be something that's ingrained.
Well, I think, isn't that pretty much in every religion that's out there? I mean, there might be something I'm not aware of, but nonstop go
for Scientology. I'm going to get a disco ball. In fact, my disco ball's not working at the moment, but normally I've got it. Oh, people could have. I forgot that some people could have epilepsy or something. Can't have flashing lights.
Did you see the latest one from Colin?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
I thank you for letting me do this today.
You know what? I thank you for doing it. You know, we get to know you a little bit better, and that includes knowing what you've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not even half of it, but it's the major. It's the most. It's the bit that broke me. You know, everything up until that point didn't break me. This is the bit that broke me.
Yeah.
Well, for a little while.
Does having talked about it here make you feel a little less?
Yeah, because now I know that I still have to be careful about what I'd say, but I would anyway. But now I don't have to stop talking and say, I can't tell my story now. I can just flow. So thank you, Michelle. I love all of you. Love you
too, Cosmic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you can actually see the dent my daughter gave me now in my head.
I can't see it.
Oh.
There's a dent.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, please continue to reach out and share as much as you're comfortable with. We're here for you.
Yeah.
We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cosmic, Dawn Gloves wants to know if you have a channel, and she does have a channel.
I do. It's not this one. It's not Cosmic Christy. It's called Christy Robinson. I'm not sure if you're on Discord. I've got it linked to that, but I don't really have anything on it. I want to start doing traveling videos of fishing and all that sort of stuff because I think I do enough with recovery. I want to do fun stuff and show people Australia and all my mates across the world what life is like here because I'd like to see that too. I love seeing your videos, Carol. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love seeing what you guys are all up to, and I notice little things around your house, like the ivy you've got around. I love that stuff. It's so lovely. And your picture behind you, I love that picture. I love pictures going down
Which one?
Cornfields.
This is
the one behind.
It's called Autumn in Paris.
Behind Rebecca.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I can't really see any pictures behind you, but yeah, it's like the column line. It's like I can see a picture
Peonies.
now.
We went to go get hay today, and the people that I get the hay from let me cut some peonies.
That's awesome.
Oh,
They're
nice.
beautiful.
So you didn't buy those; they just grow.
Wow. Mm-hmm. They just they grow out of a bush, but it dies back in the autumn.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I sort of like pansies. Pansies die off every year.
Yeah, no, they do. They stay alive. The plant will stay alive. It'll only bloom early in the spring. They bloom once, and then the bush will stay around, and then it'll start dying back. It's kind of a weird little root plant thing that pops up out of the ground. There'll be no trace of it, and then it'll just all of a sudden you'll see little spears poking up out of the ground.
Tulips.
A little bit.
I think tulips.
A little bit. These are kind of herbaceous.
I'm gonna have to Google it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 There's tree peonies and there's herbaceous ones.
Herbaceous peonies. See, that's a rabbit hole I'm going to go down.
Right on.
I love flowers.
And they smell beautiful. They smell really good.
I love flowers. Yeah. I've got 3 plants that I've managed to keep alive. I let one die just to let the other ones know what will happen if they don't get their stuff together and grow.
My friend potted the aloe that I got like a year and a half ago from her, and we'll see if I can keep it alive. It's my only plant. And honestly, which gets I get a new one every month for DJ.
The Madonna lilies, they're so easy. They call them peace lilies as well. What's that noise? Is that me?
No, that's my husband mowing the lawn.
Oh.
He has this jalopy old riding snapper that we took from Lincoln, and he keeps it running out of defiance.
I love it.
It's a whole thing.
Battle of wills.
Yeah.
I know who that is, Colin.
Oh, I'm missing something. Chat. Sometimes the chat stops on me and I can't see it. Okay, before I go, Cosmic, I'll just say, Chelsea said there was a child in spirit in miscarriage already. Okay.
His name's Kian.
Yeah.
My boy.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Colin. I love that, especially after. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you. I feel like I've had a meeting.
Right.
I feel like I've made everyone have a meeting.
I'm glad you shared. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
And,
Thank you. Me too. So.
And I should go too. Have some food. I'm super fatigued, so I have to figure out something for dinner. I don't know what that something will be. Actually, I've got bread. It'll be a PBJ because that's easy, and I don't have to cook. So.
I'm just trying to spell herbaceous.
Herb. Herb. Herbaceous. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, it's because Americans don't say the H; they say herb. It's herb. It's herb. It's like every time I'm watching an American cooking show, I'm glad I don't do drinking games anymore, because every time they'd say herb, I'd be like, because I have to say, every time someone says it, I'm like, herb. It's my echolalia, and it sounds so strange. So I'm like, herb. So, yeah.
Mhm.
And I'd have a
I
drink
know.
back in the day. We won't anymore.
We're weird over here.
Right?
So take care. Good night.
You
Good night
too.
to
Good
everyone.
night.
Well,
Love you, Becca.
love you guys too.
See, now it's sort of annoying now I know it's a mower. I like mowers. I had my mower man mowing out my bedroom window. I fell asleep because I'm like, oh, this is so relaxing. Yeah. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Christy.
And,
I love you.
yeah. I love you too. I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I forget, Friday there may not be a meeting. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to go to Mississippi to
Oh,
do my
nice.
mom's gravestone. So yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was excited for you. Is that exciting?
Well,
Or is it upsetting?
I'll be so relieved to get that taken care of. So
that's good.
yes, it is good.
Yeah. Well, if I don't see you tomorrow, Friday, have a safe drive and
Thank you.
a peaceful time. Yeah.
Thank you.
And say hello to the lady with the tiara. Love
Yes,
you.
I will.
Bye.
Love you too. Wow, you guys. Wow. We know a little bit more about Cosmic now. Thank you all for your support being here and supporting her through getting through that. You guys are awesome. You're wonderful. This is a great community to be part of. Oh my gosh. So there's so much the human spirit can survive, isn't there? It's amazing. And she's a beautiful human being. Love you guys. Hope to see you again next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all.